Okay, Sportster. Last time out, we got the majority of this bike put together outside of the gas tank and the handlebars. And also, I finally have a solution for this exhaust. So we're gonna jump straight into this. New parts. This is the left control cover. We actually have the correct pieces this time. Throttle cable and idle cable. So yeah, we got those, the correct ones. You can see the connectors on these are a lot smaller, so we should be good on that. And also for that exhaust, we have black Vance & Hines heat shields. The funny story about these, I found these on Marketplace because I was trying to find a solution for this. I actually tried right there to clean up some of that, but honestly, man, I thought about wrapping these with an exhaust wrap, but of course those contain moisture. There's multiple ways to do this or fix this, and you see there's a dent right there. I plan on knocking that out. On Marketplace, somebody was selling these for $100, so I decided to take them up on this offer. I drove round trip 6 hours to get these, picked them up. Yes, they are scuffed a little bit, but they look a lot better than what I'm dealing with. So we're gonna go ahead and put these on the bike, and we should have the exhaust situated. Let's start by taking this off. I'm hoping that today will be super light work. Here's hoping. Yeah, we got the fuel tank back. We got the left control here. Here are my wires. I was really worried about these wires not actually being able to fit in this piece, but I did test fit it and I think we should be good. Now we're gonna slot the wires through the back like this. I'm happy to see that they all fit. Super worried about that. And then we're gonna put clutch switch through the back like through the back like this. Wiring is not that interesting to a lot of people, but this is super essential, unfortunately, so it's boring. That's what we look like. The difference is this top piece right here is cut out, so there's nothing above that signal. That's what the problem with the other one, but once I get it somewhat test fitted, that switch, it is a little busted, but it fits where it needs to be in that slot. It'll be perfect when I put the bar on there. You see that one screw? I need to put that other screw on the right side, and that's gonna lock this thing in place. Hopefully it fits. Oh yeah, we are in business. This little piece wedges up against the back of this, and it's kind of pushing it in that hole. And yep. Yeah, it's perfect. This is gonna have to be moved just a smidge. Let's see if that's enough to make it move. Yep, okay. Because when I put this in here, what's gonna happen, this little notch has to go in the notch of the clutch perch. So that's gonna, okay. Yeah, and it's engaging the switch. Clutch switch right there in the middle. See it actuating? Pull the clutch in. Perfect. Something ain't something in. And I want to believe I've done everything right. Clearly, I have not. 20 minutes of dicking around with this. I figured out what's going on. So this is the grip that came with these handlebars. You can see there's a lip right here on the edge of this grip. The control cover slots on top of the stock grip, okay? But on these, it will not work because that lip is not the same. So basically, you're gonna have that lip right there, or that opening to the control housing, and this is just, it's just going to be able to, like, the best it can do is just push up against it like that. Tacky. I may go back with the stock grips. The problem is on the throttle side, it works as it's supposed to, and the housing goes over the throttle tube. So I don't know. We're just going to mock it up and see if we can get it to work. Yeah, man. eBay special, baby. eBay special has been the theme of this build, where stuff, well, rebuild, stuff has just not been lining up like it was supposed to, man. Oh crap. But you know, it is what it is. I think it's a simple thing. we're gonna make it work regardless. We're gonna tighten this cheap freaking grip down. Look at it. We're gonna tighten this thing down and we're gonna send it. For me to start putting the throttle cables back, they get routed down through here. I can probably finagle it, man, and get it on there, but I'm just gonna take this air filter off. It'll give me a chance to look in there, see if there's some oil or dirt residue that I can clean out. So this really isn't that big of a deal to do. I'm just gonna do it. But I was telling myself, I was like, dude, man, this thing long. I'm so ready to ride this bike, man. Okay, what's holding you? There we go. Somebody has been in here before. Well, this is Vincent. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Vincent High. Look at that dirt on top. Not that big of a deal, but that is some oil right there too, I believe. No, that's just the texture. That's interesting. This one's actually a different bolt. It's got a washer on it. The other two don't. I wonder why this one has a washer on it and the other ones don't. That is interesting. Yep, there's some blowback in there. So that was definitely worth taking out. Nothing crazy, you know, we're gonna clean it and be fine. Ugh. Now, gotta get these off and we're gonna, ooh, that throttle body's oily, man. It's more oily than I thought it was. And clean this up cause it's a little funky. Now that's interesting how that one turned out like that. I don't know if that's dirt or no, it looks like a little bit of rust. That's interesting. All right. Okay, clean all that off. Okay. Oh wow, it's oil back there too. This will be not too bad to clean up. Oh, it looks like water. Maybe oil mixed with a little bit of water. Got like a little milky consistency to it. Nothing, you know, concerning. It's just water probably. You know, when I wash the bike, it kind of seeped down in here. You know, nothing like puddle or nothing like that. Nothing like Scout. So we got throttle cable and we have idle cable. So the main difference between these, so these ends are, yeah, so these are the same ends. This is what really the problem is. The one on the left is the one I bought off eBay that claimed it was the part number for the one on the right. These are not the same tips. And you can see why the one on the right works and the one on the left doesn't. One for idle and one for throttle. Go ahead and get the grip set up here and then I'll route the cable through the triple down through the little cradle and then I'll get it mounted up through these little holes. Through here. I'm also gonna have to go back and put these zip ties here. That one. Don't know which one goes where, but we're gonna figure this out. You dig? Gotta loosen this up. Reason being, need to be able to get the control piece in here. That slots in like that. Yep. Okay, what I think I need to do now, we got the throttle tube on it. We got these little ferrules, and I think they slide through either on this side, feed it over, and then feed it over the tube. Take the excess and you just try to slide it in there. The one time I will say I actually like electronic throttle is when I'm not dealing with this. So now it's a matter of getting this lined up. It's gonna go down through here. There's a little lip. And then this one, I don't know where the spring goes, but it's on here. Piece down through there. Still don't know what happens with that spring. I'll figure it out at some point, right? that. And this one at the bottom. Slide through here. Okay. All right, this one. I think I'm gonna get it this time. The key to this is to have the throttle and everything mounted on as best as you can. If you're trying to like hold all this stuff while you do it, you're gonna have a nightmare. Steady trying to pop out while you slide. There we go. Just continue trying to pop out while you do it. All right, I need to adjust the cables. Oh, that was annoying. Okay, finally, man. This has been a bit of an irritation, I must say. It's probably good for the idle and the throttle. Probably leave it there and we'll try it out. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Zip ties come through. You basically feed it through and then you loop it. Then that allows you to basically these tighten out like they're supposed to. Then we got this one. This caddy, it's kind of tight, but it definitely keeps all these cables where they need to be. Throttle cables at the bottom, throttle cables at the top. Snappity snap. These are a little loose on like that play like that. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. The throttle, the poor man's cruise control, little thumb screw. So apparently that piece is on back order till I think this fall. So I'm gonna have to find another solution for that, but this is not gonna stop the bike from being ridden and getting inspected. So that's more so just so you can lock the throttle in place without having to adjust the cables. So we got the left side done, right side done. Now I gotta clean up some of this and put this air cleaner back. That took, this probably doesn't matter because it's gonna throw oil back in there anyway, but there was literally no point in cleaning this. That was a waste of my time. Because these things are still gonna, this thing's gonna puke oil all inside of the throttle body. Honestly, I don't care. This bike is honestly not about performance. It's just not. It's like this, and this goes like this. And then this slides up against the wall like this. And then you screw, wait a minute, nope, that ain't right. That look right. And then that screw like that. And then screw like that. And then we take this thing here. And then we screw like that. Look at that. Look at that. And final, look at that. I have to go something like this. There we go. Yeah, that looks right. This one doesn't look super bad, but it does look a little oily. But you know, it's not dripping with oil. But like I said, it wouldn't hurt to change it, but I'm not gonna change it. I think it's gonna be fine. If it was dripping with oil, that'd be a different story. good. Ooh. I'm gonna be a little gentle on that one. Somebody's been playing with that one apparently. This one, which doesn't match the other one. All right, and this piece. All right. Hopefully, at this point, there is nothing else to do with the wiring other than the speedometer. I have something for that, but right now I'm gonna deal with this exhaust, and hopefully everything else is done besides the fuel pump and the gas tank. Taking off the shield should be pretty straightforward. You just unscrew these clamps. An 8mm is working for me right now. Oh. Yeah, see, the headers are still gonna be intact, so that's kind of why I wanted to do it this way, because I didn't want to have to take this off, because if I take this off, then there's a good chance that I have to replace the crap, what is it? The gaskets that go inside the cylinder, right there at the exhaust exit. So this is, oh yeah, you can see, oh man, you can see how damaged this thing was in the back. Oh, it actually didn't, the header, bro. Yeah, that's pretty significant. Yeah, it's a good shot from the side. Like I said, that's not gonna, restrict airflow or anything, but I actually like the look of the exhaust the way it is. The problem is, man, you're gonna burn yourself on that thing. You see how hot it gets. I know people run it like that, but I'm gonna put the heat shields on, the black ones, and I'm just gonna run it. But yeah, I like it. Gives it a different look. All right, the way that this works, just slide this over. Y'all let me know down below what y'all think about this black, man. This one's a little scuffed up. It ain't perfect. It was a lot better than what we had, right? A lot better than what we had. Leagues ahead of what we had. Perfect, man. Freaking perfect, dude. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I love it when I'm playing, man. God, I love it when a plan comes together. That came together so freaking nice. I am so glad that I found those parts on Marketplace. Again, drove 6 hours, 67 hours in total round trip to get those parts. $100, totally worth it. What I took off of the bike compared to what I put on, I would say those parts are like a B-. They would have went for a lot more money if they weren't scratched up, but I saw that opportunity. I took it. The day I saw them on Marketplace, I hit the guy up and said, look, I'm coming to get these parts. He was at home, went and got them, came back same day. I'm so glad. Man, this bike, man, I was struggling to see the vision because of so much that went wrong with this bike as far as the paint and everything, but putting that exhaust on there, man, it's coming together. And next up, I feel like all we need to do is put the fuel pump in the tank. I was gonna wait because I wanted to paint it first, but I think we have enough reason to go for a first ride. And I think that's what we're gonna do. It has been roughly 24 hours, not since I assembled those pieces to the bike, but actually since I painted the gas tank for the Sportster. So I decided to do that instead of mounting the tank to the bike, meaning putting the fuel pump in, putting gas in it, and then going for a ride and then taking it back off to then paint, which means that I may have to take the gas out, take the fuel pump out again. No, so I decided to go ahead and paint it. So when I put this fuel pump in, it is in for good. And once I put gas in it, hopefully it doesn't have to come back out. So now we're gonna go ahead and mount the fuel pump inside the gas tank, and hopefully we can get this thing on the bike and it's gonna fire up. It should, but you know. First thing I need to do is carefully pull up this tape. All right, that went perfectly like I thought it would. Ripping paint off, but it was on the edge. All right, most of this is going to be covered up by the gas cap, but stuff like this, man, is really hard to get this perfect. These stands that the tank is sitting on, these were actually 3D printed. I'm not the creator of these. There's a guy that released these to the public on the 3D printing community, and I took the designs, printed them, and here we are. So I was working on some, but when I saw that somebody had already had some out there, I was like, this is why I love 3D printing, because I can just get the file and print them, and they have helped me immensely in, you know, painting this tank. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna try to maintain this beautiful finish. When I say beautiful, beautiful for my standards, it is not perfect. I'm gonna pull this up, and now I gotta flip it over, and we gotta get this gas tank fuel pump mounted, but we also gotta take the old, the tape off of here as well. But I did also paint the bottom. This isn't exactly clean, but it is soft, so I think we should be fine. But I imagine this is gonna go like that. This piece is making it a little difficult. This is the piece that's making it hard to go in. Okay, there we go. All right, line that up like that. We're gonna get our individual screws, go in the torque pattern. We're gonna torque this thing down. The sequence, according to the manual, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we gotta torque them in this pattern. So what I'm doing now, I'm just getting them to the point where they bottom out. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make the same mistake I made last time, where I snapped this off into the tank. Boy, I would cry. I would totally cry. But I'm not giving it like a lot of force, so don't worry. So I'm gonna go around tightening these each time, because as you tighten them, the other ones are gonna get looser because you're bottoming the seal out against the tank. See that? All right, so the spec calls for 40 to 45 foot-pounds, inch pounds. I'm gonna set mine to 43. We're gonna do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Done. Torque. So before I put the tank on the bike, I also have these little tank isolators, one for each side. They stick on, so I'm gonna do that. A little grease from my fingers, which I'm sure there are on there. Ooh, sticky. As you're supposed to be. Oh, you're pulling my paint off, bro. Look at that. Yeah, you got to go in here now. Let's see, I get it on there. Yeah, I got on there pretty good. All right, let that sit for about maybe a minute or two. Squeeze it on there and mount it to the bike. Please don't look like hot garbage. Please don't look like hot garbage. Please don't look like hot garbage. Please don't look like hot garbage, man. All right, the seat's kind of in my way. All right. Put that in on. Please don't look like hot garbage on this bike. Okay. I think we're mostly in place. You know what? I gotta take this off because I gotta bolt it in here, and also I gotta get this exit line right here and the fuel pump hook back up. So put this through the hole. Perfect. Gotta tighten this down, but what I'm gonna do is go ahead and lift the tank up in the back, and we're gonna connect these lines. So this will allow me to pivot the gas tank up and down without it popping out. That should be enough. got a fuel line right here. Oof. There's that. Fuel came out of the fuel pump when I did that. Yeah, so me and gas tanks just straight up don't get along, man. So I got a leak right here. This connector. There we go. All right. It wasn't fully seated. This is the same thing that happened to the lowrider, where I thought after I did all that gas tank work, you know, I messed something up, and really that fitting, actually the fitting in here, it actually goes bad. You end up having to replace it. But on this bike, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's a 2020. I doubt it went bad that fast. It's more so just I needed to connect it properly. All right, with that little miss, we can move back to this, run our electrical line through here. It was before. And it's gonna snap in down in here. There it is, right there. Okay, right. And she snapped. Now I gotta get this evacuation line for the fuel tank. Yep, goes like that. And then I'm gonna go right here. All right, fuel tank is ready. Just gotta bolt it down. I'm gonna lift this up, go through like that. Side, get the nut and tighten it down. I'm not looking to torque these down. You can kind of do these by feel. You know what I mean? Like, just don't go like crazy. That's good. The front, exact same. Don't go crazy, man. Tighten it down. It ain't going nowhere. One more thing I need to do, and that's put this cover back on in here. I actually don't remember how it came off, but I know where it goes. I know where it goes. I'm gonna figure it out. Right, so we got the gas tank on, we got the wiring situated. It should fire up, right? No, there's one problem, a very minor problem. I know what's wrong. It ain't got no gas in it. No, it doesn't have no freaking power to start this thing. Gotta put it on the charger. And we wait. All right, with that, the bike is fully assembled besides the speedometer. I'm still working on that, but the blue paint job, at first I did not like the blue paint job on this bike, but then I realized what the real issue was. It's not the paint, it's the seat. The seat has this weird gray section on it, and to me it throws the entire look of the blue with the black. When you take the seat off, it actually doesn't look that bad to me. So I may end up putting some leather dye on the seat to try to like blend it with the rest of it. But other than that, I think it turned out great. Yeah, I'm excited to ride this thing. Now I just gotta wait for this battery to charge and we should be good. So hopefully tomorrow we're gonna get a ride on this thing. I still gotta put some gas in it too though, but we're at the finish line. All right, before we move forward to get this bike started, I gotta give a huge shout out to my folks over at Patreon. We built this little community. Inside of this big community, and every active patron, I just added 7 new people. They get a spot on my wall. If you're interested in that, I'll leave a link down in the description. Let's get back to it. All right, so take this off. I want to get my gas jug out my storage room. Just went up like this. It's raining pretty good. All right, I'm gonna pull it out. let's see what happens. Let's try more fuel. Maybe there's not enough. This bad boy's not starting. Well, now my battery's going out again. So that is a bummer. I'm just gonna take this battery out and I'm going to put it on my charger. I may go get the battery, you know what I might do first? I might go get the battery checked just to make sure it's not like, you know, bad battery. Right, so here's where we are. Took the battery to AutoZone. They checked it, battery passed. I also saw where the negative terminal post is kind of melting the plastic on the battery. I don't know what, maybe that's where the smoke was coming from. I don't know, but I left the battery with them. It's gonna charge it. Hopefully when I get it back, it'll turn the bike over or help turn the bike over. But definitely I killed the battery just those attempts to try to start it. So they said the battery was on 30% charge. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's as simple as that. 24 hours later, I got a new battery. The other one did charge up 100%, but when I hooked it up, the battery was arcing at the negative terminal. So it actually arced to the point where the terminal or the negative cable on the harness of the bike, it actually started to discolor. So that was a safety thing. I spent $140 on the battery. I didn't want to. I think we're gonna be good. No popping. Let's see if we can get this thing started. I've done nothing to this bike engine-wise. Like there's literally nothing done engine-wise, so this thing should start. Unless maybe I need to check spark plugs. I need to check this fuel line. I don't know if it's actually grabbing fuel. I can hear it pumping. I'm going to disconnect the main fuse. So I'll just pull in the main fuse. I don't know what's going on with this, but what I want to know right now is, am I getting fuel through this line? Oh, that's what it was. My freaking fuel line. Look at that. My fuel line was not fully connected. Holy crap, I didn't fully push it in. Oh, God. Such a simple thing. I bet you that's what it was. Put my main fuse back. I was prepared to take this off, put a cup up to this, and just let the fuel pump prime and see how much fuel was coming out to make sure that the fuel pump was actually doing its thing, but I guarantee you that's what it was. I don't even think I needed the battery, but the battery was still arcing. Very weird. I didn't like that. It has not done that on this bike or on this battery, but still. I've started the bike with that battery before. I know it's gonna start now. It's gonna start up 100%. I got down here and I was trying to smell exhaust fumes to see if I could smell some excess fuel vapor. Was not smelling anything, so that's what made me think like there's something air fuel related. Spark plugs, yeah, I could have checked those, but I've started this bike up before. I didn't mess with any of that. And I knew I cleaned the air filter, but I also, once I actually opened the throttle, you could hear the bike or the engine acting differently because I was introducing more air, but it still would not start. So the only thing I had left was fuel. Okay. Battery's dead. My goodness, man. You don't get too many tries to start this thing. So I got the jump box on it. I will start this bike today. Got the potato. Sounds good, throttle works. I think the brakes are gonna be good. Let's get on this thing and go for a ride, shall we? Damn, it shook the freaking shifter loose, man. eBay special, baby. All right, so I ran into one small issue, man. I'm gonna get off this bike and I'm gonna check it right quick. Basically what happened is the bolt came out, and so I couldn't shift the bike. Nothing mechanical, it's just my cheap stuff. But you can see how much this bike is shaking. I'll tell you what though. Oh, also every time I sit down on this thing, I press that. I'm not trying to. My thigh hits it. But I'll tell you what. The Sportster, man, it's light and it rips. It's fun. Tell you what, this exhaust sounds good. It's mostly straight. I think that adjustment might be still off a little bit. Oh my goodness, this thing shakes. This thing rips, man. I like it. Yeah, I like that exhaust. First impressions is riding smooth. There's a lot of vibration in this thing. It's my first time on the Sportster. I'm also feeling vibration in my foot pegs because these have no rubber bushing to them, so they are just straight, like, this is straight metal. I don't like it. We're gonna take a different route today. Get down. You feel absolutely everything. I feel the rumble in my butt. I feel the rumble in my feet because of the cheap pegs I put on. I feel it in the handlebars. I got wind on me. This is not a bike in the stock form I feel like you should ride fast. But if I'm just gonna do this, just cruising, absolutely, it's perfect. Man, my feet keep slipping. My foot, man, there's no grip on that. I might put some tape or something around that. I don't like that. But on deceleration, that exhaust is nice. Listen to it. It's got like this. Yeah, I like it. I like that a lot. I was coming to get on this thing expecting it to be gutless, like, because what the old Sportsters get a big rap for in their stock form is that they don't have any, you know, power. They feel like they're like slow, and they're a girl's bike. And granted, this isn't the 883.
don't know, man. I like it. It's comfortable for the most part. Like I'm actually having fun. But I tell you what, I did come prepared just in case this thing falls apart with me on it. I dress fully in my gear just in case. You never know, it might want to fall on me. Just break apart. Something's not right up there, man. I don't know. Might be placebo. All right, hopefully she starts back up because I'm a long way from home. Tell you that. All right, see what we got. Gonna get that 93. 1.2 gallons. Oh, that's nothing, dude. First try. Yeah, yeah. Here's the second round of fun on stripped road. Look at that. This is not a road that you want to ride with the with your hands out the handlebars. Fantastic. I just passed the state trooper with no tag. That's gonna be a fun conversation. He's gonna continue to look at my bike like something's wrong. Maybe he was thinking like, oh yeah, he's testing it out. Can't look at this freaking mirror. You know what's interesting about this is I didn't understand how this thing wanted to be ridden until the very end, because when I actually juiced on it, when I really got into it, that's when I felt like everything started to come together. And dang it, I did it again. Look at that. When I actually juiced on it, I felt like the engine was the counterbalance of the engine. It was in perfect harmony when I was actually like in it. But when I got out of it and the shake came back, when I wasn't high in the RPMs, it was more shaky. And plus the wind's very high today. This thing gets pushed around like a freaking piece of paper.
Normally I'd say, hey, I'm done, but I'm gonna go back and fix the mirrors, put some Loctite on these different bolts and different things, because stuff is just shaking so much on this bike. This is my first time on a Sportster. Once again, you don't really experience that shake until you really ride one. This thing, everything is shaking and you're just vibrating the entire time you're on this bike. It is a fun bike to ride, I can tell you that. And it's actually got some get up when you actually get on it and really just rip on it. The harmony of that exhaust with the balance of the engine, you really feel it. The engine mounts, I don't know if people actually put like more rubber mounted stuff in there. I think that is that hard mounted or is that rubber mounted? I can't tell. That looks hard mounted. But every time I sit down, I push this freaking thing. I'm going to check my pressures, check my torque on this front end. Otherwise, I think we're good. Right, so with that, the first ride on the Sportster is done. My first ride on the Sportster is done. There's a little bit more work to do, but mostly the bike is safe to ride. The wind is very high today, so I feel like that could have been a few of the reasons why I was feeling some, like you could literally be riding straight and just feel the wind just a little bit of wind and you're drifting. So what I'm gonna do is go back, look at some of these bolts that are connecting things, check Loctite. This bike shakes you a lot. As much as I wanted to ride without a jacket, I think I would have enjoyed this bike a little bit more without this jacket, because it turns into a parachute when I open it like this to let air in, and I got a hood on it so it creates drag. I didn't want to chance that on a bike that I'd never been on, and I took the front wheel off, back wheel off, did the brakes, clutch line, throttle could have gotten stuck or something weird like that. So we took the safety precautions we needed, and the bike rides good. So I'm gonna tweak those things. Next up is the speedometer. I got to deal with that, and I think at this point it should be ready for inspection. So good news for you, you don't have to wait to see that. You can click right here and check out the next episode. Also, if you're into this Patreon, my diehard Bicasso fans, I'll leave a link down below so you can check that out. As always, thanks for listening to my story. I hope you learned something. I will see you in the next one. Peace.